The first light of dawn stretches over the village, painting the sky in soft hues of orange and pink. A gentle breeze rustles through the tall wheat fields, carrying the distant sound of a rooster crowing. The mosque's call to prayer echoes through the stillness, a familiar melody that signals the start of another day. Inside a small mud brick house, a woman stirs from her sleep. She sits up, adjusting the edge of her dupatta over her head, her hands instinctively reaching for the silver bangles on her wrists. The floor beneath her feet is cool, the scent of damp earth filling the room. Without a word, she rises, stepping outside where the world is still half asleep. She walks towards the well, balancing a clay pot on her hip. The air is crisp, carrying the faint scent of burning wood from a distant cholha. The old pulley creaks as she lowers the bucket, the sound blending with the soft murmurs of other women who have also come to fetch water. They exchange brief smiles, knowing words aren't needed to share the rhythm of their mornings. As she makes her way back, the first rays of sunlight touch the fields where farmers are already at work. The rhythmic clinking of metal against earth fills the air as they guide their oxen, their voices low and steady. Children, still drowsy, emerge from their homes, their uniforms slightly oversized, their hair hastily combed. A boy rushes past, carrying his slate, his sister tugging at the corner of their mother's shawl, reluctant to leave. In the courtyard, she kneels by the cholha, her hands moving with practiced ease as she shapes the dough. The fire crackles, licking at the sides of the iron griddle. Soon, the warm scent of parathas fills the air, mingling with the sharp aroma of fresh brewed chai. A brass cup clinks against a plate as she sets breakfast down for her husband, who is adjusting the strap of his turban before heading to the fields. Nearby, an old man sits under the shade of a banyan tree, his glasses perched low on his nose as he flips through a worn newspaper. A group of young men gather around him, listening as he reads aloud. Their laughter breaks through the morning calm, mixing with the distant hum of a passing bicycle. A stray dog stretches lazily by the roadside, wagging its tail as a woman walks past carrying a bundle of firewood on her head. The village, once silent, is now fully awake, a world of movement and life unfolding with each passing moment. A gust of wind carries a flurry of dry leaves across the path. She pauses, looking towards the horizon. A cart approaches in the distance, its wooden wheels kicking up dust. There's something familiar about the silhouette. A name lingers at the edge of her mind. She wipes her hands on the edge of her shawl, her heartbeat quickening. A new day has begun, but something about this morning feels different. The golden light of the afternoon spills across the village as the scent of wood smoke drifts from every home. The steady rhythm of daily life slows, but in the kitchens, a different kind of work begins. A woman kneads dough with practiced hands, pressing and folding until it is soft and pliable. She rolls it into flat circles, her bangles clinking as she works. The clay tandoor glows with heat, and soon, the first roti is slapped against its hot walls. A faint sizzle, a puff of steam, and the aroma of fresh bread fills the air. Nearby, a pot of lentils bubbles, thick and fragrant, the golden color deepening as a handful of spices are sprinkled in. The hiss of tempering oil, the crackle of mustard seeds, the sharp bite of garlic frying, it is a familiar melody, a comfort that has been passed down through generations. A young girl stirs the pot carefully, her mother watching, nodding in approval. In another home, fresh butter is churned, thick and creamy, ready to be spread over steaming rotis. The slow rhythm of the wooden churner echoes softly, a sound that belongs to the heart of the village. A boy sneaks past the courtyard, eyeing the bowl of freshly cut mangoes set aside for lunch. His fingers dart forward, but a sharp glance from his grandmother stops him. She smiles, handing him a piece instead. The first bite is pure sweetness, the juice running down his fingers as he grins. Across the village, the same moment plays out in countless homes, families gathered around low wooden tables, breaking bread, sharing meals, stories, and laughter. As the sun dips lower, a different kind of hunger stirs. A man at the tea stall stretches, calling for another cup. The vendor works quickly, pouring thick, frothy chai into steel cups. The scent of crushed cardamom lingers in the air. Nearby, hot oil bubbles as golden pakoras are lifted out, crisp and steaming. A group of boys pool their coins together, waiting eagerly as the vendor hands them a small bag of spicy, deep-fried snacks. In one home, preparations begin for something special. A woman carefully measures rice, rinsing it until the water runs clear. The grains glisten as they are added to a pot of simmering spices, the aroma of saffron blooming in the heat. The slow, deliberate layering of flavors is an art, one that requires patience. A younger woman watches closely, learning without asking. In another corner, a pot of thick milk simmers, sugar and cardamom swirling into its depths. The scent of kheer fills the air, warm and sweet. Outside, an old man leans back against a tree, chewing a piece of gur, savoring its deep, earthy sweetness. The village moves at its own rhythm, unhurried, unchanging. Yet, tonight feels different. There is an unspoken understanding in the air. Something is coming, something worth gathering for. The last light of day fades, and the village prepares for what lies ahead.